Our home, planet Earth, is finite. All life shares its resources and the energy from the sun, and therefore has limits to growth. For the first time, we have touched those limits. We are one brief generation in the long march of time. The future is not ours to erase. So where knowledge is limited, we will remember all those who will walk after us and err on the side of caution. This we resolve. All this we know and believe must now become the foundation of the way we live. At this turning point in our relationship with the Earth, we work for an evolution, from dominance to partnership, from fragmentation to connection, from insecurity to interdependence. I'm Jae Mather. I would like to speak to you about sustainability, and I mean true sustainability. And so what follows is a number of key factors and key issues that I think need to be addressed. There's a lot to talk about when it comes to ecology, when it comes to environmental technology and building systems and all the rest of that, which are all very, very important aspects. But I think it is a complex web of philosophy, political science, economy, as well as ecology that is necessary in order to construct a true environmental decision. The environmental movement has spent a long time, many, many years, trying to convince people to behave differently because of ecology. And they've been correct in their assessments, but that has not made the difference. Now, economics is starting to come in because oil is becoming more expensive and certain countries are putting incentives in place to support renewable energy or putting building regulations in place that are requiring sustainable construction. So now economics is starting to play. But until the political system truly embraces sustainability and actually gets it, and until the philosophy of an entire country or an organization or culture or community changes to embrace these concepts, it will still not get very far. A lot of bits and pieces are occurring all over the place, but the way I like to say it is, I think sustainability now is about 5% of where it needs to be. And fine, 10 years ago it was only about 1.5% of where it needed to be, but we have a long way to go. In many ways today, we've entered a realm where there's a huge amount of policy and procedures in place all around us. And those policies and procedures can lead to us sort of behaving like we have scar tissue. It reduces our flexibility and our adaptability to things because we develop a rigid way of approaching something. Now, we've all felt that. I'm sure that there have been times when someone has followed a rule which didn't seem to fit because of a unique set of circumstances. Let's face it, is actually quite common to have a unique set of circumstances that creates an exception to every rule, which has led to a very bad decision being made. But under the guise of, well, I'm just doing what I'm told, or that's what it says in the book, or that's what the computer tells me to do. That has led to a lot of common sense being lost. And we need common sense. We need adaptability. We need accountability in order to embrace and take on the challenges that are coming in the future. Sustainability is not about the environment. Sustainability is about everything. And we have to change our systems in order to create as much adaptability and flexibility as possible. Rigidity creates problems because a rigid system will hold up under certain amounts of stress and then its only reaction is to break. And when a system breaks, it's not a very fun situation for any of us. We end up losing our wisdom. And when we lose our wisdom, then we're in a position where we can continue to walk off of cliffs and fall down repeatedly over and over again and never be really understanding why this is happening. Common sense is something that isn't common anymore. Sustainability, setting the scenes where we are today. The big question a lot of people have is business as usual even possible anymore? Is sustainability an option or is it now a necessity? And that's something that I think is very, very important. With the changes that are occurring to the natural cycles of the planet because of climate change, with our altering of the weather and the water cycles and our food cycles quite significantly, we're in a very, very interesting place. We've got 7 billion people roughly now. There's talk by 2050 of having 9 billion people in the world. When you combine the fact that the majority of the world's food would be affected greatly by weather changes, be it too much sun, excess storms, drought, excess water, all these other issues, rainfall pattern changes, we're in a pretty scary position because our food outputs are at risk. And when you add the perfect storm in there of extra people, and then you add sea level rise, and then you add water inundation into the fluvial deltas where a huge chunk of our food is produced, you can see a pretty scary perfect storm. So what I like to say is business as usual is gone. It's never been here. We do not have that luxury anymore. What we do have is an animal that's continuing to walk in the same direction with the same policies, procedures in place, and strategies to keep us on that path. But that path cannot continue in the way it's going because there's an end game. Peak oil is going to eventually come, or it may already have come. That will push prices up significantly. That means everything in our lives is linked to oil. Our food, our clothing, our heating, our power, our cars, everything we do is in some way linked to oil. And so therefore, if those prices keep escalating, which they are, and which they will, we'll be in a position where a lot of things will become unaffordable for a lot of people. And so we've also got peak potassium coming. And so we're in a position where the food outputs that we're used to getting are at risk. And so I say, is sustainability still an option, or is it now a necessity? Pines Calyx is a wonderful structure. This building has now won 8 awards for various things to do with sustainability in architecture and design. And it's a good example of what you can do with different materials and different processes. This building was made for the same price as a conventional concrete structure of the same size. Yet it has energy requirements which are about 75% less. It's made of waste materials which came from the site. We had to dig the chalk up to build the Pines Calyx, so we built the walls out of the chalk. The tiles themselves are from waste product from Kent, from a quarry. Richard, who's here right in the middle, Richard built another building, Crossways, in Staplehurst, which is looks like it's the first zero-carbon building in Kent, based on the timber vaulting concept. And he managed to find his own tiles from 3 miles down the road. 3.95. 3.95. These are good examples of things that can be done differently. Environmental technology. This is an area that is incredibly exciting because there's so many innovations occurring all over the world, both in very, very ancient technologies being brought back to life, as well as very simple low-tech solutions and the high-tech solutions. And we're coming up with the imagination of the world starting to be focused in on this challenge, which is where I see the great opportunities coming out of climate change. There are going to be many climate change billionaires that are going to come out of this system. The question is, where are they going to be and how are they going to come about? I see there's a huge challenge in the systems that we have in place because most of the people who are the gatekeepers of technology and how it gets into countries and how it gets certified and gets stamped and seals of approval are the ones who are running those industries, and therefore they are threatened by any sort of technology which can disrupt their status quo. And so therefore, unless we change that system, we are at great risk of having innovations suppressed, crushed, or purchased and hidden, which we've all seen in the past in the automotive industry as well as many other industries. And so the great opportunities that are sitting here are also at risk if we don't change those patterns. None of this is about saving the world. None of this is about saving the planet. This is all about trying to save us, as our civilizations are. Humans will survive no matter what we do to the world, even if we create a massive extinction event because of our idiotic behavior. Even if climate change hits the worst of the worst, there will still be people around, but they won't represent us, and they won't think like us. They will have to be survivalists. And we don't want that to happen. Either we manage this process or it manages us. So that's our opportunity here, to grow up, to evolve, to make use of all the things we've got today, which is immense technology, amazing communication facilities, an amazing opportunity to share best practice with everybody. We can do this, but only if we grasp it, and we really grasp it, and we're willing to let go of the way we always did it in the past. Don't use that one. Don't use that one. That's how you're going to end.